The revolution will now be televised.
Sweet, I gotta eat. With my hustle turbo, never gon' fall. Let it be known. Ain't nothing sweet about the heat. Let it be known when the doors low, then the guns blow. Ain't nothing sweet, I gotta eat. With my hustle turbo, never gon' fall. Let it be known.
We are back. We are live on the set for another episode of the Delgados podcast. I have a very, very, very special guest here with me today. Someone who is not only near and dear to my heart, close personal friend, but someone who is a fashion icon. And when I introduce her, you'll understand exactly why I use the word icon. So when you think about the fashion space in general, especially when it comes to streetwear, and just urban culture in general, I don't think there's been another woman more influential ever to design in our space in the culture. Without further ado, I would like to introduce April Walker.
Oh, that was really a generous introduction. And it's so good to sit here and take up space with you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming. I know how busy you are, and I waited a while patiently, and it was worth it.
I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah, it was worth the wait. I'm so glad to have you here with me today, April. So I want to start with a little bit of our background. What people may not know is we are childhood friends. We are from an area in Brooklyn called Clinton Hill. We grew up together. I lived in 444 Clinton Avenue, and they lived actually in the building next door to me. So we grew up together. Myself, her sisters, my two brothers, Eric and Jose. So we have a long history. And it's crazy, April, because, right, you grow up next to someone, and when you're kids, you never really think about what the future looks like.
Fast forward.
But crazy is pretty early on, you developed into this phenomenal entrepreneur and this person who was just going down this fashion road. I want to talk about that a little bit. You were basically about 2021 when you started selling T-shirts?
Right. I started my first atelier, Fashion in Effect.
I remember Fashion in Effect.
That was when I started in 21. I started T-shirts. I think I started my fashion journey in high school, but I didn't know that I would be doing it, right? Because I was buying wholesale. When I was in high school, I was taking it uptown. I was selling suits on payday to the women, and I was baby boy before baby boy.
Wow.
You know? So I think I always had a love for fashion and a love for the hustle and trying to figure out what it would be. I didn't want to work for someone else. I knew that early on, but I didn't know what it would be. And I think by the time I was in college, I was hanging out a lot. So when you think of Empire and Roxy's and Octagon, and this is before Octagon, so it's Red Parrot, it's Uptown The Fever, all these places I'd been hanging out.
Roxy.
Yep, Roxy's, yep, Empire. Red Parrot was a staple for me, Bentley's.
Right.
You know, all those places gave me a lot of, it was like an outside runway. You know, New York was on fire in the 80s, and self-expression was taking many forms. And I just was like, that energy was electric, and it drew me. And at the same time, hip hop was really becoming commercialized, I think, in the 80s. And it was a time when it became a force, and the spirit of entrepreneurship really kicked in overtime. I remember going to Fresh Fest and seeing Run DMC on stage and thinking like everything that was taught about dress for success was a lie. It was all of these feelings.
That's interesting.
So by the time I got to college, and one night I went to the Apollo, and then I saw Dapper Dan. I went to his shop. I was like, okay. The light bulb went off. Like, they have nothing. We don't have anything in Brooklyn that really served us at that time. There was Miguel. He had a little shop, and there was Carl. Carl had a little tailor shop. But Clinton Hill had nothing. And I was like,
You were inspired.
very, like, I'm gonna do this. That was really how I leaned into it, knowing that there was nothing in the stores for us, for what I was going to the clubs. I was chilling. We were buying our stuff, we were remixing, we were doing all the things, but we couldn't go and buy anything in the stores that really served our lifestyle. And I wanted to start doing that. And I was like, I can do this. That's how it started with fashion. And in fact, on Green Avenue, between Grand and Gates, Grand and Cambridge, and it was like almost a 24/7 spot. It was 7 days a
Yeah, I
week.
remember.
Yeah, you remember
I remember
airbrushing, all the things.
and pulling up and parking in front of your store.
Yep.
So what's interesting is this. It's like you said a couple of things. I want to touch on them. That time during the 80s where your inspiration began to build and the light bulb went off was an interesting era for us. Hustle culture was
Oh,
alive and well. We're in the middle of the crack epidemic.
right.
So you have all these street entrepreneurs, all these street pharmacists, and then you have this interesting dynamic because hip hop is starting to become more profitable. Like you said, it's becoming commercialized. Corporate America is understanding how powerful hip hop is. So those two things meshed together. It was a wildfire.
It was wild.
It
And
was
then
a
you had
wildfire.
Reaganomics.
It was a wildfire. The city caught fire. New York City was electric. And I know, we're not the only people in the world who had something to do with the creation of hip hop. But since it started here, it was just different here. The energy was different, right? Whatever spread throughout the world came from us.
Right.
It came from the Mecca. It started right here. And it's like when I think about girls from that era, and I talk about this all the time. You guys had a sense of style that was sexy, yet it was classy. You guys didn't have to show too much to be fly. You didn't have to show too much.
Mhm.
It's not like now where these women have to be overly sexy and they're showing almost everything. They leave nothing to the imagination. You guys could wear a Benetton shirt with some baggy jeans and some K-Swiss and a Swatch watch on, and you'd be like, "Oh, she's fly,"
Right.
with your big earrings on,
Right.
and you'd be like, "She this girl's beautiful." You know what I mean? Extremely attractive, covered up, yet cute and sexy at the same time. And it's like you brought that aesthetic to your brand. I feel like when you started Rockaware, you had all these, not Rockaware, I'm sorry, Walkaware, Walkaware. You had all these elements that you grew up with in the culture and you put that all into the brand. And I feel like that was the magic of you.
Right.
That was the magic of you.
Well, that energy came authentically from me just living it, and really
You grew up in the
self-expressing.
era.
I grew up in it,
You
and
are the era.
I was the customer.
You were birthed from the
I
culture.
knew what I wanted because it wasn't there, and I wanted to. I was seeing it. I was dressing in it, but it wasn't being service to us. So it was like, I know what I could make. I know what this could be. I felt it from the inside out. So, like you said, we were born into it. So it was easy. It's not like we had to really force it because it was very natural.
I mean, like I said, like I try to put, and I'm not trying to take away from any of these brands that I'm going to mention now. Baby Fat, Apple Bottom, and all that stuff that came way after you. They don't get the same recognition that I would give to you. They don't get the same flowers that you deserve only because they had corporate backing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You mustered up your own money, opened up your own shop,
Mm-hmm.
got your own tailors, came up with your own patterns. No one was cutting CADs for you.
Mm-hmm.
You had no one designing for you.
Mm-hmm.
This was all birthed from you.
Mm-hmm.
You really had to be about your business to put that entire operation together. How did you go about that? How did you know to go about that?
Honestly, success leaves clues. I always say, I didn't really have to reinvent the wheel because you can, like, at that time, the New York Times had liquidator section on Sundays. You could see like everything going out of business. So before I did, I went to Dapper Dan's. I saw he had Juki machines. He had Singer Industrials. Like I knew what to buy because I was seeing the blueprint, right? I
You were
saw the
taking notes.
tailors. I was taking
You
notes
were
all the
visually
time.
taking notes
I
all the
was a
time.
researcher from the door. So some of the tailors came from there, and then I went to the factories and stood outside and hustle mode, and tried to find um seamstresses and tailors that already understood how to make leather, how to make 14-ounce denim, like could make the corduroy, like all the things I wanted. I wanted to make sure that there were masters already in place to do those things. There were shirt kings, but then there were others too. So we started airbrushing, and I got my own artists, and we just covered all the bases to what we felt like we wanted to see. At that time, self-expression was so important, just like it is now. Public Enemy was one of the soundtracks of my life at that time. And I remember our wall, when you walked in, I don't know if you remember, there was a big dog on the wall. You would come in and tag your name. And on the wall, it had a picture of a dog and it said, "Don't believe the hype."
I have a photogenic memory. I remember
You
like it was
remember that?
yesterday.
And he
Yeah.
had gold teeth and a thing to the back. And anyway, yeah, it was real. He had a big dookie rope chain on, and like all of those things were the way I felt. So we wanted to airbrush, we wanted to do acrylic painting, we wanted to do all of those things so we could put Malcolm X on the back of a jacket or whatever we felt we wanted to be able to blow that up and to let you know this is where we're at. And that was the culture. That was hip hop to me, doing something different and how we did it and letting the people know we are not invisible and we're not gonna be erased. And we're here. We're not gonna get that on the news, right? You're still not. So we have to be our own bullhorn. And I think that I did it through fashion.
You did it through fashion, but also just the way you moved around, the way your presence was felt on the scene. Like, I can't explain it or really put it into words. It's like people that are destined to be great and do something, even before their greatness, they're where they need to be. I can't understand why. It's just like when you went out in New York at that time, you saw certain people all the time if you were running in the right circle, if you
Right.
was at the right parties.
Mm-hmm.
And back then there was no social media. There was no way for me to tell you where the party was. You
Right.
had to know.
Right.
You had to know.
Right.
It was driven by promoters. You had to know those promoters. People sold tickets at beauty salons. You
Right.
sold tickets at your shop.
Absolutely.
Like, this is how it went. If you didn't know where to go buy a ticket, you basically wasn't coming to this function.
Right.
So it's like, it's not only that you had your finger on the pulse and you had this entrepreneurial spirit, just naturally, organically, you were where you needed to be. You were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I give a lot of credit to growing up in a community that fostered that. Like my father was in the music business.
He was.
And
So
so
was my dad.
yeah, so
Yep.
it just that helped watching him hustle, growing up around all these interesting artists and that really expressed themselves and danced to their own beat and didn't listen to what society was telling them. So I think that gave me a lot of courage. But then on top of that, I was always like, I mean, when I was young, I was in them streets. That's the bottom
It's the
line.
truth.
I was out there. You know what I mean? So
You was
that
outside.
helped. I was outside.
As
So
as the
don't
kids
keep it
say now,
funny.
we outside.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
we
I
were
was
outside.
So
Our generation was all the way outside.
bananas. So all of that helped, because it gave me a community and an ecosystem to understand. I got to see what I wanted to do and then what I didn't want to do.
Mm. Like firsthand, like not on TV.
Right.
Like you got to really see it. Interesting, because all these things collectively that happened to you and that you also made happen. Even that being said, when I think about the demand that there was for your brand, I almost felt like it got popular so fast that you almost couldn't meet the demand.
Mhm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like it was just like immediately it was just placed on the right people. They had it on and everybody wanted it. How did you deal with that?
So I think it was twofold in that. And I'm going to backtrack real quick because on the last question, you asked me how. And I think that I wasn't in a silo. I started out with this dream, but I really amassed a dream team. And I think part of that dream team was definitely part of the success formula. I had people that believed in the same thing, and it wasn't about me, it was about we. And we had a mission and a bullseye, and I think that that was the magic of it. And they were all culture. They all got it because we were all the customers. And I think that hunger we had to really to hit that bullseye was everything, you know. But to your other question, so it was that like I was independent. I am the independent artist, always have been. There were a few times I came close to doing. I did some licensing deals that I didn't stick with because we just didn't meet eye to eye on partnerships. But from the door of my intellectual property was probably I always looked at them growing up from under the helm of my dad. I was like, I'm always on my masters. So that was my IP in my mind. So I'd rather be the independent artist because legacy was more important to me than chasing the dollars because I wanted to sleep at night. Good. You
And
know
the
what I mean?
legacy is iconic.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really, I'm not flexing, but I guess I am. You can't really
No
say
flex.
there's not a lot of,
Muscle emoji flex.
there are not a lot of people
Talk your
that
shit.
are standing 4 decades owning their IPs and
Nah.
still relevant globally. You know what I
No.
mean? And
No.
that's because I own my own IP. I can really go at my own pace now. The world is different, but I'm okay with that. Like I do what I love. I put a smile on people's face when they get the right thing and they feel good wearing it. And that makes me happy. And I'm still doing what I love, not for me, but feeling like I'm uniforming the culture.
From when you started streetwear, now I'm going to say you started it because, like I said, there are not too many brands that are still relevant from our era that are in business today. And like you just said, own their own intellectual property, are able to do what they want with it creatively. It's like, when you think about that, right, April, like, what are some of the differences you see in streetwear trends from when we were kids to now? What are some of the key differences you see?
I think everything, nothing new is nothing true, and nothing true is nothing new. It all comes back around. But I think that what I am seeing now that's different is I think we were very much into matching
We were.
and it fits that the outfit. And now I love, at first it took me a while, I'm not gonna lie, but I like the way these kids, and I say kids because I'm of a certain age, but
We are of a certain age.
young people now are not afraid to be mismatched, to wear whatever they want to wear, and to be okay with it. And if you do it right, it could really be a good look, you know. So that's different for me. And also technology is different. So I'm really seeing a lot in technology now that's coming to fruition with like fabrications where they're actually moving, and like you can pour something like out of a bottle and it can actually shape your actual
Wrap
skin
around your wrist.
and
It's crazy.
it's going to become like you're seeing it in real time. Technology is going to change fashion forever. So all of that. One thing I was talking about coming up here is also, I just heard the wildest numbers. I don't want to say it, but it's billions and billions of dollars that Goodwill made last year. And so, and that's because kids are thinking
They're
more.
thrifting.
They're thrifting big
They're
time.
reusing pieces.
And it's not just kids, but they're doing that because they're really concerned with the ecosystem and the planet right now. That's something we weren't, because we didn't know what we know now. And that's different. They're way more conscious about where they're spending their money and why and what you're doing for your brand to help the planet. And that's different.
For me, I want to touch on something you said. These children make me uncomfortable with the way they mix and match pieces.
Hmm.
I'm very matchy.
It's
As you can see,
okay.
I got on a whole leather suit right now.
You told me to wear black and gray. Here I am.
I'm very matchy. Like, I do not like the way that they put their pieces together. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me, and sometimes it works. I feel like some of the youth really get it, and some of them are still finding their way. And there's no right or wrong
Right.
when it comes to fashion, right? There's
Right,
no right or
absolutely.
wrong. I don't see any hard lines that you have to stick into.
I mean, you could do anything you want to. I'm going to say that first, but there is wrong. I'm just going to say it. Sometimes some stuff is like, that's wrong. But that's me in my head. In terms of self-expression, there's never a wrong.
I try not to judge. Like, I have kids.
It's hard for me not to because this is my industry, so sometimes I get in, but then I jump out, and I'm like, I'm sure my dad told me, when I first said what I wanted to do, he was like, "Ooh, that's whack,"
Right.
but he still supported it.
Right. And I try to look through that same lens that Jack looked through with my kids. I have school-age kids. I have a daughter and a son, and another son graduated college already. And when I look at them and the way they dress and how they go thrifting, they go to Goodwill all the time and shop, it really pisses me off because I only bought new shit.
Right.
So to us, hand-me-downs and used shit was like a taboo because when my parents didn't have money, I had to wear my older brother's shit. And I always to myself was like, when I get money, I'm not wearing no used shit. I'm only wearing new shit. And I'm still like that.
See, it's a trip because when I was in high school, I love going to vintage shops.
Did
we
you?
would mismatch. I would wear fly stuff, but I would find fly stuff at the vintage shops too. I knew where to go on the Upper East Side. There were so many spots, but it was like a treasure hunt because a lot of people didn't thrift then. So it was different. But now it's a whole thing, and it's interesting to watch for me because I remember being that high school kid thinking, I know something y'all don't.
I still love brand new shit out the pack. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
hear you.
I'm obsessed with it.
But I like
It's weird.
I like
Right.
history too.
Yeah, also,
so it's like
sure.
when you buy a really great piece.
This
that
is a
you know-
vintage piece. This
yeah,
is-
so
right.
when you get that and it has a story to it. If it's in mint condition and nobody has it, it's something about wearing a piece of history to me too.
I have a lot of pieces like that. As I've matured, as my fashion palette has matured, I can now look at some pieces and be like, you know what? This is a rare, unique piece. I want this.
Right.
And I have a good amount of vintage pieces in my collection. But like I said, when I was younger, it was an issue for me because we didn't come from much from a money perspective. My parents didn't make a lot of money, so sometimes I would have to wear my brother's jeans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when I got older and I got my own money, I was like, I'm
doing this.
gonna be
right.
buying me some new shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that mindset, I carry it, into my old age, into my adulthood. So even sometimes when I probably should be wearing some of my older stuff, I'll still go out and buy some new shit. It's just weird.
I got you.
I got to stop it.
We all do our thing.
Yeah, right? Right. Everybody does their thing. Now, I want to talk about this collaboration with Parsons and Complex and how you're, continuing to push the culture forward and help others and continuously develop new talent. Talk to me about how that came about.
That came about a while ago with Yellow Brick. That's an educational platform.
Okay.
And it's been a while, but it's called Streetwear Essentials, and I'm one of the contributors. And there are a lot of great other teachers in it, but it's all about teaching you the game of streetwear and giving you history from different perspectives. And then from there, education now has been one of the things in my toolbox that I really enjoy, number one, but also enjoy giving back. I do a lot of
fantastic
mentoring.
outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. It's like taking all this experience and this lived experience and now passing it on to the next generation. So I've been doing something called Build Your Own Brand and Be Your Own Brand in the high school systems with DOE for about 15 years now,
It's awesome.
and maybe about 8 with Milk D from Audio 2.
Oh, that's cool.
We do something teaching kids about entrepreneurship and just ideation, really trying to empower them to think as independent thinkers and creators. And from this perspective on the canvas of fashion and also music, but applying to anything, the skills are transferable. So that's one thing we do together. And then I also taught at NYU with Clive Davis. I did something called
I'm
Sound of
familiar. Yeah, I was
the
touching on
Sound
that
of
next.
Fash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just that's my thing now. Like that's where
How
I
did
see
that
it
come
going.
about? How did you get to collaborate with Clive?
Jason King called me about that. And it was out of left field. Shout out to Jason King. And he was actually in charge of that whole division. And he said, "Hey, I want you to teach this class." So, but it was right after the pandemic. So it was definitely challenging, but definitely rewarding. And then Pensole Lewis College. Are you familiar with them?
I am.
Okay. So that's my favorite, just because I love Detroit. They showed me so much love, and it's the first, for those that don't know, Pensole Lewis College of Business and Design is the first HBCU dedicated to just solely business and
Specifically.
design. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Whether it's apparel or footwear, a lot of footwear, apparel, culinary, they're opening it up to everything.
Amazing
A few-
institution.
Amazing. And it sits on the water. It's beautiful. And Dr. Edwards is the founder of that, teamed up with the legacy of the Lewis family, who actually had a HBCU there before, and then it closed. And then they reopened it. So anyway, it's a wonderful thing. And I was honored recognized with the April Walker Apparel Studio, and Carhartt and Miller Knoll actually powered it. And so there's an apparel studio now in Detroit that you have to go see because it's awesome.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm going to be doing some master classes there.
I
this
love
year.
that you have this passion to give back and help the youth and uplift them and, teach them business and just give them inspiration. It's incredible. I'll tell you this, right? And you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I feel like there hasn't been a walk-aware in a long time. Someone like you who creates something off the street that comes out of the culture, but I mean, really is birthed out of the culture, and then boom, takes off and succeeds. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there are no brands coming out of the culture like there were when we were younger? Why do you think it's like slowed down?
I think there are some. I don't know if it's the same as Walkaware, but I'm gonna say Barriers is one of my mentees. I think he's doing some very original stuff. It's different. It's still streetwear, but he's telling history through streetwear, and he does an excellent job at it. Matter of fact, I think at Complex Con a few years ago, or Culture Con, he had a pyramid in the middle of the booth. His booth was a pyramid in the middle of it, and just everything he does is educated. So I'm shouting him out. It's different. And I'm gonna answer your question. And then I think I'm gonna give Jerry Lorenzo a lot of credit right now because I think he's been great. Fear of God to me is clean in the sense that it's less is more. I love the name, and I think he's been sustaining his brand for a while. So everything's going to be different. Nothing is going to be the same. But
This is what I'm gonna say.
Let me say, maybe you think I'm being kind, but I'm being honest.
I don't think you're being kind. I think you're looking at it from your perspective, and your perspective is honest. There's nothing wrong with that.
The market is oversaturated now, truly oversaturated. So when I started, there was no streetwear. There was no urban fashion. Literally,
We were making it up as it went along.
that's it. We were jumping out the airplane and putting parachute on and like, let's go, building it as we went. So I got to see the whole journey. But now it's like I think it's like $367 billion right now. From when I started, when it was
Zero. What I wanted to say about that was this, and this is what I meant by there are no walk-awares emerging. You actively had to go search and really look and find some walk-aware pieces.
Oh.
I only had one pair of jeans and one t-shirt,
Right.
and I know you personally, and that's all I can get from you.
Okay.
You feel me? So
much.
it's like the frenzy that you created,
Right. That's
where
scarcity.
it's like I have to have some of this.
Right. But
Even if I can't get a lot of it, I'm going to get at least one piece.
I got you.
That doesn't happen anymore. There's no brand where some kid is so crazy that they have to just get one piece of it. I could find Fear of God anywhere.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying?
But now I'm gonna say that we blueprinted that, and now these kids do these limited edition
Runs.
drops,
Right.
and that's their model. That's their thing.
That's their model.
That's
their version
the
of it.
kicks, you know, like
Right.
remixing that and like, oh, release. It's only gonna be so many of them.
100 pairs
like,
of this.
It's the scarcity blueprint. The scarcity blueprint for us was one out of exclusivity, right? But at first, we would have loved to have it in enough doors everywhere because everybody did ask for it, right? But as an independent, I didn't have that luxury. So I had to be very selective. So what I chose to do was to build relationships. And if I was in one neighborhood, they were the store to have it. I wasn't going to have two stores in the same neighborhood with that product because it was more important for me to build and develop a long-term relationship with someone who was going to have my back and I would have their back through thick and thin. And we could grow that brand together. And I also knew early on, if everyone couldn't have it, they would still want it, right? But when you get 10 stores that have it on the block and everybody wants it. I knew from early on. I knew how I was. I know how you are. I knew how most people, everybody wanted. If I was in a club in the 80s and I saw a woman with the same outfit on, I was leaving the club.
And I was tight.
Yeah. So this is how it was. So if I'm thinking like that, I damn sure don't want my product in every store. So what makes it special if everybody can get it? You know, that was my thinking. And then it served me because I wasn't able to put it everywhere anyway. I didn't have that kind of production money. So I had to be very selective. We grew it out from 1 city to 5 cities to 10 cities to 25 cities to 50 cities around the country. And then we were in Japan. Then we were in the UK. And we had to be selective there.
I want to ask you this because this to me was a huge part of the fuse that lit your explosion, the fuse that lit your bomb, was this strategic genius product placement. How did you get it on Biggie? How did you get it on Pac? How did you get it on Run DMC? Like the biggest artist of that time, right? The most influential artist of that time. How did these people specifically get your stuff?
Ooh, I like to say I was just that dope, but I'm gonna give God the credit first. Like honestly, it was just like when I look back on my journey, it's been magical.
Because there was nobody bigger than Run DMC ever. There never will be. So it's like for you to get your clothes on them, they were wearing Adidas. They were the first group to have an official corporate sponsor with their own collaboration.
100%.
Now collabs. Everybody gets a collab. Drake and Nike.
$1 million.
This guy and this guy.
Collab,
this one with Puma. Everybody can have a collab now. It's not exclusive. There's nothing special about it. Run DMC had their own Adidas
They
shit.
set it off.
That was in Macy's. You could go to Macy's and buy an Adidas sweatsuit that said Run DMC on it. That was crazy. How did you get your clothes on them? How did it happen?
Kilimanjaro's. I was in Kilimanjaro's with an outfit on one night that I made. I always have my cards on me. And Jay walked up to me and he said, "That's a nice outfit." I said, gave him a card. No, first I said, "I made it." And he was like, "Yeah, right." I was like, seriously, I make clothes, you know? And I gave him a card. And the next week they called me and they were like, "We have this styling job. Would you like to do it?" And that started my styling. So I had a styling division. A lot of people don't know that, right? Once I had fashion in effect, once I started making these custom clothes, once I you asked about Biggie. I'm gonna take you through so you get like how that came into product placement. It's gonna come home. Biggie came in my store when he was 15 at Fashion in Effect. I think he was about 15 when I do the math. And he hadn't been signed yet. He saw a Houdini and a Eric B. and Rakim airbrush shirt in the window. He comes in, we start a conversation. I'd always see him in the neighborhood, but just a nod. We didn't really know each other. But that brought us together to start learning about his love for music, his rhyming, a little something. You know, that's how he put it then. And then he got his deal with Bad Boy, and we had been friends because he was buying stuff, and he stayed with us. And that opened the door to Bad Boy for me, right? Separately, I was always in them streets. So I was at Kilimanjaro one night, and I saw I saw Jay. And Jay called the next week and said, we have this video. Do you want to style it? And that started a custom outfit that I did for them. And then that opened the door to Def Jam. And then Run DMC went on
So it was
the
like
road.
one domino got knocked down
Run
and led to
DMC
another domino
goes
effect.
on tour with Flavor Unit and Naughty. And they
And that's
see
how
that.
you got the Tretch.
And then Naughty I started styling. First, before Naughty, I started styling Nikki D and Queen Latifah. And then from there, Naughty. You know, it was like full circle. I was dealing with them because Lynn Scott was
Walk
my
Away
girl.
was gas.
Yeah, and then we just had, I have to shout out Milk D because Audio 2 came in Fashion in Effect early on. My earliest customers were Shaggy, Shinehead, and Audio 2. Brooklyn was in the house. And they came in the store and they said, we want you to style our album cover for I Don't Care. Can you do that? And I said, sure. So the artwork was Shirt Kings. I did the outfits, and they came back 2 weeks later and they said, we're doing a video. Can you style it? I knew nothing about styling, but I was like, yeah, I got this.
I'll
Yeah, I
do it.
got you. And I learned, you know, and once I got paid for that, I was like, oh, we have another revenue stream. We're going to start a styling division. So I ended up styling like Shaq and, you know, so many people and things. It was crazy. But in that process, 2 things happened. I was able to style the video with a styling budget. I was able to make the custom outfit whenever it made sense and place Walkaware in the video. So it was 2 checks and it was product placement at the same time.
On the right people at the labels that were moving and forming and shaping the culture.
And I think it was
Crazy.
really important. So, like I said, success leaves clues. So brand alignment was important to me. And I wanted to make sure the artists that represented us represented the symbol that we carry, what we believed in, you know? And I think that helped us.
It was an interesting period for fashion because you had Play from Kid and Play with Foreplay. You had My Family Miguel with M Series.
We did a fashion show together.
2
You
of them.
remember that?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
One at the Supper Club and one at, what was the name of the spot?
It was when Studio 54 was switching their name.
Yes, right. Yeah. And if you think, Onslow Carrington, it's like there was this renaissance of designers that were working collectively, that you guys all had your own brand, but y'all would just come together and showcase your talents, collaborate collectively all together. And that is also kind of what I was touching on. You don't see that here in the city no more.
No.
Who's throwing fashion shows where 5 independent urban designers are getting together and putting together their own event and venue? And then that same night, Guy is on the bill. Guy is going to perform after the fashion show. And all the hustlers are going to come. It's damn, they're going to be like a drug dealer convention mixed with a fashion show, mixed with a fashion show and an R&B concert.
Right.
Come on, it was crazy. It was a renaissance. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's like, that's what is missing from this game.
Big time.
You know what I'm saying? That organic, like, yo, April made me this. I'm wearing it tonight to this party. Or I went to Miguel and got this custom made.
Oh, that's
I'm wearing it
there
tonight to
anymore,
his party. Like, that's what I was talking about, April. Like, there's no more of that. There's no more of that. And I miss that. I feel like the game needs that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I feel like the game needs a little bit of that. I hope some of these designers tap in and watch this podcast. You know, you guys need to start putting on your own fashion shows. Fashion Week is great and getting recognized by those platforms is fantastic, but create your own platform. Don't be afraid to just say, you know what, I'm going to rent out a small nightclub and
do it.
I'm going to have my girlfriends dress up in my outfits and they're going to be my models. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. It doesn't have to be so higher echelon. You guys can simply get a space and showcase your pieces.
I get some email requests. I think it's happening. It's just not like it happened when we were doing it.
Right.
You know
Right. It
what
was
I
an
mean?
explosion of it.
It was crazy, but
Yeah.
it was a different time.
Magical time. Magical time. I wanted to, you know what? I'm a little upset at myself. I want you to forgive me. I forgot to ask you to bring a copy of your book. You know,
and I
you know
forgot
what?
to bring it.
You know, I just found out about this book 3
Really?
weeks ago. I just found out about this 3
Oh
weeks
wow!
ago.
I
just
gotta
found
get
out
you a
about this book.
copy.
Huh?
I'll get you a copy.
Come on, an autograph copy. I needed it.
I got you.
Listen, I want to talk about this book, Walker Gems, right?
Right, Walker Gems, get your ass off the couch.
Drop some gems on me right now. Drop me a Walker Gem on me. A good one. One that you
Okay.
like personally.
Sometimes some of the best waves come from weathering a few storms.
I read that the other day on the gram, and that shit hit me hard because it's
a
the
fact.
truth. It's a fact. If you ain't been through no storms, come on. Shit, my whole life is storm, so.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I might as well be a meteorologist because
It's
I can
a
see
fact.
bad weather coming a mile away. What made you want to write this book and drop these gems, drop these jewels on people?
I think when I first started with Instagram, I used to do these. This is when Instagram was 15 seconds. That's how long ago it was. But I would come on for 15 seconds and just drop a gem, just trying to familiarize myself with the platform. And they just became like this magnet. More, I think it's to this day, I think it was the most yearned for content that I delivered. Like I did over 1,000 videos. And from that, I was able to see people's pain points, what they would ask me. They started sending me DMs and all this, and I was asking me to mentor them and just a lot. And I was able to see, okay, I was already teaching, and I knew I was moving into this space more. So I said, how can I take all of this information that I have in these 1,000 videos? I know what the people need because I see they're hungry for it. And I just really took the most popular pain points and kind of told them through my journey. And it wasn't my journey story, but I just dropped gems, and there are some anchored stories. I even have a story with Reggie Osei in there and a few people that wrote theirs, you know. But it's really to tell this generation or people that are in the game that might be burnt out, that might need reset.
Might need to recharge their battery.
That's it. It's for anybody. That's a good thing. And in the actual book, I try to give you life gems that will serve you personally or professionally, because there is no one or the other. It has to be a duality, in my opinion. That's alignment, because one is off, the other is.
I love that you vibrate on a higher frequency. I don't know if you remember when me and you bumped into each other down at Magic. Do you remember that? In Vegas?
Vaguely. What year was that?
This is a while ago. You're talking 2007,
Okay.
2008. I had my own brand. I had just launched my brand, and my booth was really slow.
Okay.
And you came to my booth. I was right next door. This is when Shaka Wilson, I had branched off from Aniche, and they stopped doing that whole thing. And they started doing Parish Nation. They had just launched Parish Nation. Him and Tony Shellman
Okay.
had just launched, and I was right next door to the Parish Nation booth, and you came through, and you was like, oh, I didn't know you were doing a clothing brand, and you spoke inspiration into me, and you were like, don't worry, it's slow, people will come, you know what I mean? Just stay true to what you do, and just believe in what you do, and I appreciated that, because I was like, this icon came to my booth and dropped this gem on me when I needed it most, because I was down, I was feeling down, I wasn't getting orders,
Right.
and it was just interesting that at that particular moment, you know what I'm saying, somebody from my neighborhood, somebody from Clinton Hill,
Right.
someone who done this on
That
such
familiar
a
face.
high level for a long time, you know what I'm saying, came over and spoke life into me. So it's like, I love this Walker Gem thing because it's that same type of high vibration. But you've always vibrated like that. I love that shit
I'm
about you.
thankful about that. Like, I think that, look, life is going to be hard. It's not like it's not all a party. And I'm learning that if you want more, you have to grow more, you have to do more. And your perspective is going to take you up or take you down.
All perspective.
And it's really like the more grateful you are and the more gratitude you can find in the now, the more you attract that.
Mm.
And I think that the adversity is what makes us grow. It's what makes us tougher. It's what makes us question life. But I've learned that everything is temporary.
Mm.
And so this too shall pass, whatever
Even
that is.
really painful periods.
It passes.
It's just for a season.
How many times did you think, oh, I'm not going to be able to get over this? I feel like, oh my gosh.
Shit right now.
You know what I mean? And it's 6 months. You don't even remember this shit. So it's like having enough life experience now, I can say that. But the Walker Gems book is based on that. So hopefully if you're reading it, you'll get something out of it that will let you say, this too shall pass. Thank you for that.
And it's available on Amazon. You can
Barnes
get it
and Noble.
Barnes and Nobles. You can get it on your Kindle. Walker Gems by April Walker. You need to get this. You know this queen is straight out the culture, so you know the book is going to be official.
Thank you.
I love the hoodie you have on. I want to talk about this piece a little bit. I don't know if you brought me one or not, but I wanted one bad. I wanted to take with me on my West Coast trip. But
I know I would have loved to. You gave me last minute. Though.
I
All
know,
that
I
stuff
know.
is where
I forgot because I've had so much on my mind. I've been grinding so hard with this platform, April.
I'm proud of you with this platform.
Really?
I just want to tell you that I've been watching you and I see the care and the intention and the thoughtfulness and even your guests. Like, and you're a good interviewer. Like
Thank
you
you.
really are. Like you do your research and you ask really great questions. And I think part of it is because you actually are genuinely interested. But I'm sure sitting here, you're learning so much too with different people. So
I am.
it's probably, I mean, as much of the hard work it is, and it is a process and a lot of hard work, like you will really be rewarded with that.
I appreciate those kind words. I mean, because sometimes when you're in the middle of it and you're trying to build something, it can feel so heavy.
It is heavy.
This shit feels heavy. I mean,
The process is everything, though. Just
Yeah.
know that I remember that, and I look back now, and those are some of the best times. So the only thing I could give you in this is try to be present to the now instead of always thinking about the next. Because what you don't want to do is build up something great and look back like, damn, I don't remember because I was always thinking, I'm thinking about LA right now, what I have to do when I get to LA.
And that's how I am.
I know. That's
I
why I'm
suffer from
telling
that.
you.
That's
We all
you
do.
know
It's
exactly how I am.
So I'm telling you, the now is the now. Appreciate the now. Try to be in it because tomorrow will take care of tomorrow. I can say it because I lived it. And I have some of the biggest moments that people tell me, you remember that? People I worked with, and I don't because I was thinking about what was happening while the room was, and you don't want that right now because I could tell you're building something special.
But do you ever feel like this, April? Do you ever feel like if you're not the one thinking about the small details, because the devil is in the fucking details, if you're not thinking about the small details, no one else is?
Oh, no, I'm not telling you not to do that.
Right.
I'm telling you, definitely stay on top, stand on business, but also smell the flowers.
Try to be in the moment. Try to be present as well. I accept that. I received that. I'll tell you because these past, I'd say from Thanksgiving till about now have been really challenging for me, just in terms of, you know, the company and the platform and losing people that were here and then now they're not here. And just, you know, you have this thought about what you think something is going to be. And, you know, hopefully if God wills it and it's in your trajectory. You'll be able to make it to where you want to go with it. And then it just falls apart and you're rebuilding right at the beginning again. And you're like, okay, I went from doing that. Now I got to shift and transition. And now I'm doing this. And sometimes that can be really heavy.
Yeah, that's called being an entrepreneur, though.
It is.
I mean, you got to learn how to pivot, how to bob and weave, and keep moving forward. And after a while, you get enough
Just dust
bruises.
off.
You all right.
Take that ass
Yeah.
whooping, stand up and
Stand
dust
up,
off.
keep going. You got this.
Amen. I take that. I receive that. I do got this.
Hmm
You hear that, niggas? I do got this. Huh?
That's right.
Plus, niggas see me and all my greatness. I feel like I'm a great nigga.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, you know, like, I feel like I'm a great nigga. I'm humble, but I'm also like an amazing motherfuckers. Like, not
Right.
too many
So let
niggas
'em
like
know.
me. Special. You could look at this nigga. Niggas see this greatness, and it's like, I feel like also motherfuckers don't like to recognize too, April. It's like,
Get it off your chest.
yeah, I feel like,
Let it
I
out
feel
right
you
now.
know, you be like, do you see the type of shit that I'm pulling off just after a couple of months? Like, it's almost impossible to do this. To have quality talent like you, a person who is an icon and a legend in her own right. And I know you say, oh, I'm being generous when I use these words. These are words that you deserve. These are titles that go with the name April Walker. This is shit that goes with your name.
Mhm.
It's facts.
Mhm.
All you other designers and all that other shit. This is her right here. It's no other one. It's no other female from our culture who's done what you've did, period. I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling you something that's real. You feel me? And I feel like people hate to accept greatness. Do you feel like that?
I accept it.
Right. No,
I-
you for sure.
No, I just feel
It's
like
yours to own.
right. But what I've learned is I don't need other people to validate my dopeness. So, and I don't look for them to give me the greatness because I know who I am, you know, and that comes from within. So, you know, you don't have to announce it. It
You
speaks
don't.
for itself.
It does. Motherfuckers see it. It's real. You see that Walkaway hoodie on it, you can get you one. You can go to walkaway.com and get it. It's available. You know, along with the rest of her collection. She active in every field. I mean, the line is up and running. More pieces now than there were then. So much for you guys to choose from, man. April, I appreciate having you here so much.
I do too. I just have to say I appreciate you saying that because now I'm going to speak for all the independent businesses that are out there right now. We are going through a really tough time in 2026 with what is going on in the world. And I would be remiss not to mention that we need your support more than any time now because with DEI being shut down, with all of the things that we are up against in the world, I really feel like
They're trying to erase
the
the culture.
answer to us thriving and not maybe surviving is going to be in collaboration and really realizing we all we got.
We are all we have.
And if we really come
This is
together,
the support system.
and I just mean culture, period. And people, and if we can get past the dividing lines, that's gonna really take us out of the hemisphere because it's just about like minds. So support that.
For real. You heard it right here. That was another Walker gem. April, I would like to present you with these flowers.
Aww,
You
those are
deserve to get
beautiful.
your flowers.
Thank you.
I appreciate having you here so much.
Thank
It
you.
means everything to me. It means everything to me.
I
So,
had to come, Clinton Hill.
yo, Clinton Hill all day. Big Brooklyn energy. My next door
you.
neighbor, man. My next door neighbor.
From kids.
You know, for real, man. This is a special episode for me, man. It's very meaningful. It's like a full circle moment. You know what I mean? We
Definitely.
grew up together. You know what I mean? To be here together, it's a wonderful for me, wonderful experience. I would like to thank everyone for tapping in at the Delgado's podcast. You already know you can get the book on Amazon, Walker Gems on your Kindle, Barnes and Nobles, wherever books are sold. Go to walkaware.com, pick up your pieces, support not only her, like she said, but support everybody from the culture. We have to support each other, right? We're here to keep each other going during these difficult periods, right? They want to erase what we're doing. They want to erase our history, but it's impossible, right? We've survived worse than this.
Absolutely.
We've survived worse than this. This is minor compared to what our people are used to dealing with. We're going to thrive again like we've always thrived. Thanks for watching the Delgados podcast. We'll see you again soon.